Hello and welcome. Thank you for taking the time to join ComAround for today's webinar. The topic for today is how to capitalize on the knowledge revolution. Before we begin, I want to share some practical information with you. We encourage you to ask any questions you may have during the webinar in the chat, and we will cover these in a Q&A at the end. If we cannot answer all the questions during the allotted time, we will follow up with you individually after the webinar. The webinar today will be 25 minutes long, and we will have a 5-minute Q&A at the end. The webinar will be recorded and distributed for you to watch again and to share with your colleagues. Today's presenter is a visionary, a published author, an experienced speaker, and a co-founder of the global knowledge company ComAround. With 20-plus years of experience with implementing self-service, he is one of the most experienced people in the field of self-service and knowledge. He holds numerous certifications in this field, including knowledge-centered service, and is a certified HDI professional. So without further ado, I welcome today's presenter, Per Strand.
Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar by ComAround on how to capitalize on the knowledge revolution. And thank you, Sebastian, for the introduction. I have a lot of great information and exciting things to share with you here, so we will have a quite high pace, I believe. Knowledge management is one of the largest untapped assets for organization according to Gartner. Organizations have tried many ways of harnessing knowledge with mixed results. I will try to explain why it's so much easier to take advantage of new technologies like AI, bots, and chats with control of your knowledge. So again, welcome to today's webinar. I have divided the presentation into 4 different parts. First, latest trends and challenges. Here I have some brand new information that Gartner shared with me last week in London in the field of customer experience and what's important and what's working and not. I will tell you a bit about knowledge-centered support or service and why you should care about it, and why it's a great start for organizations who want to take control of their knowledge. And I will also point out some of the ditches we have experienced during our 20 years helping organizations to implement self-service and knowledge solutions in their organizations. And finally, of course, why are we doing this? What is the benefits of working with knowledge in organizations today? So, before diving into deeper, I want to share a prediction that Gartner did already back in 2011. 2011, Gartner said that 85% of customers will manage all their relationship with an enterprise without interacting with a human. So now, a couple of years later, we can just see where we are. We should be able to see where we are 2020 with just a few years to go. And of course, this is a field that we at ComAround keep very close track on to see where it's going. And I will share some real client information with you from this stage. So since this is really what we do, to help our clients to find the right knowledge the way they want to, we are tracking it really closely. Just some short facts about me. My name is Per Strand. I'm co-founder of ComAround. That Sebastian introduced you. So I've been in the business for 20 years. And I've helped hundreds of organizations together with my colleagues to implement self-service and knowledge solutions into organizations. Last year, I had a big pleasure of giving out an international book together with my colleague Lena Stormvinge in the subject called Self-Service and Knowledge Success. That is available in most online bookstores, including Amazon. So if you want to dive deeper into the subject, of course, talk with us at ComAround, or please read the book and give me your thoughts back on that. So let's start with the latest trends and the challenges that we see here. sorry, I think I jumped one slide. I just go back there. Very short about Comaround before we're getting started. So Comaround, we have been in business for plus 20 years, and we are experts in the field of knowledge management and knowledge center service. And that is what we help our clients with on a daily basis, to implement knowledge management in their organizations, and also providing our self-service knowledge tools called Comaround Knowledge, which is KCS verified. And on the screen you can see some of the international clients that we work with currently. So we have very long experience in working in this field. So let's jump into what is the latest trends in this field and what do we see. I think it's important that before going too deep into knowledge management or support or service, we need to find out what is going on a higher level. And I have some new information here that I got from Gartner last week that I want to share. First of all, there is a huge focus on technology right now. Everybody is talking about AI, machine learning, chatbots, and so on. So we are really at the hype of that. At the same time, we here at Comaround can really see an increasing interest for knowledge. And without a question, that has to do with this new technology. I think you could almost see your knowledge in the organization as the petrol of your car, or the electricity to your car. You need it to get the car moving. Without it, it would just be a lot of technology that you can't use. So having control of the knowledge is so essential to make all these new great technologies really deliver and work. If we look at the hype cycle, you're probably familiar with the Gartner hype cycle. We can really see that areas like machine learning, chatbots, deep learning, Internet of Things, connected homes, and so on, is really at the hype of the hype cycle, really at the peak of the hype cycle. And normally this means that we're just about to see a lot of less interest in the coming year or months at least, and with probably some disappointments also on this technology. We haven't really found out or learned how we could use it in the best proper way. So just have that in mind going further, that it's great new technology that we should use. There is also a huge risk that there will be a lot of failures in projects associated with these new technologies. And if I had to place KCS somewhere in this hype cycle, I would say that it is very mature and at the end of the hype cycle, to the right on this picture. So there is no hype for KCS today. It's been around for many, many years, but it also starts to deliver and actually show great benefits for organization who's using it. And I believe that also has to do with that KCS itself has matured. We have learned and we have made it an improved methodology. So why are we doing this? Again, back to the Gartner experience last week in London, the summit. It's all about saving time for ourselves and for our clients and for our organization as a whole. If we look at where we are spending money right now in organizations connected to these new technologies like AI, we say that it's the purpose for doing this is saving time, saving money. And as you know, saving time is saving money. So that's really the purpose of doing all these investments and projects right now. And when we speak about the peak of the hype cycle or just using technology for technology's sake, I want to share with you also some maybe not so good ideas on what you can use technology for, but at least fun to look at. I don't know if you heard about the Nissan's self-driving slippers. So they are auto-parking themselves. So you never have to look for them, and you can leave them where you want and they will go back and park themselves. So that's, at least if you ask Nissan, a great example of how you can use this smart, intelligent technology. And we'll see if it will be a success or not, but they have invested a lot in it. Or another great example is the Griffin connected toaster that you actually need an app to control. You can't not just push a button. You need the app, and you can turn on the heat, and it gives you a signal or alarm when the bread is ready if you forgot that you just started to toast it. So this is example of new technology. It's funny, but not so sure they will last for so long. We'll see. So I guess that's a new term we're talking about. Internet of Things have become, in some ways, Internet of Stupid Things. So we have to really think about what is the purpose for using all this new technology. So again, look at what we're doing and what is actually our customer and clients asking us for. What is it that is important? Of course, saving time. And besides saving time, we are really demanding effortless interaction with any service that we use. That's more and more important. And if it's possible, no interaction at all. I mean, here is where knowledge, AI, and smart technology can really help us out. So we also see that this is things that is more important today than price or brands. We really look for solutions that does these three things, and we should have them in the back of our head when we are developing new services as we go. I don't know if you remember back to saving times. If you're old enough, you remember the Alta Vista was the starting place of the World Wide Web once. And for some reason, Alta Vista was overtaken by Google, that totally now dominates findings or searching on the internet. What Alta Vista probably did wrong was that they didn't save time for the users. What they did was that they added banners, links, more and more complex websites. So they started out quite small and become the number one, but somehow on the road they forgot that making it easy and just have the one purpose to save their users' time somehow vanished. And there come the new competitor Google with one spoken goal, and that was to have the users spend as little time as possible on their websites just to find what they were looking for, just find the destination, not spending time on Google itself. And of course the rest is history. So I guess saving time is not something new, it's been there for a long while. And if we look at the AI cases, what projects are we starting with new technology involving artificial intelligence? We can see that customer engagement applications is at the top. Call center service and support related investments is also at the very top. Digital marketing and so on. Everything that is connected to customer experience is really at the top here. So this is where the investments go today and where we're putting our money. So to create great value and really get engaged and get loyal customers, that comes back to us. We really need to have customer experience as the main focus. And according to Gartner again, it's more important than price and brands. So have that in mind. 2017, 1,000 consumers in the US were asked about customer service. 55% stated that they would walk away from business that delivered bad customer service. And not to be confused with bad products. It was just bad customer service. So I believe good customer service and again customer experience is not only important, it's what really makes you stay in business. And I think that goes both for internal service desk as well as external customer support centers. I think the time when we could rely that all the users in an organization calling us is since long gone. Now everyone has extremely easy access to knowledge just from their fingertips with their mobile devices. So that's our true competitor. So with that said, we really need to try to be the customer's preferred first choice. If we can do that, we will get rewarded. And there is a very strong trend right now also that to be number one is highly rewarded than ever, and being second and third or even lower down in the user's alternative list is being punished harder than ever before. And if we look at the gap from 2018 and today, also new figures from Gartner last week, so we can see that the gap between being a number one and number two has never been bigger than it is right now. And I think we can see that in all different fields. It goes for service, support, products on any level. So therefore, we really need to specialize or differentiate, or if we have the chance, go for being number one. So the theme is really winner takes it all right now. So again, if we want to put more knowledge management or self-service, if you want, perspective on what we just said about the latest trends, it's about saving time for users, it's about predicting the needs and understand the context of the user from time to time, and if possible, help me to action. So with that said, let's jump into the second part of this presentation about what is knowledge-centered service and why should you care. First of all, knowledge-centered service is short for, as I said, knowledge-centered service. KCS is a methodology with one purpose: sharing best practices and proven methods of working with knowledge and knowledge sharing in organizations. And if we look back at the history of KCS, it started already in the 90s, and it's a free best practice methodology. And it's based on the simple principle that we want to capture, structure, and reuse knowledge in organizations. And it has been used since long by organizations like Avaya, Apollo, Dell, HP, and Salesforce, to take some examples. So if we look at KCS from a short summary perspective, it's really about having the knowledge as the key asset of the source for your collective knowledge and your service. Lately, KCS has developed to grow outside the support organization and really include the whole organization, also your clients and your partners. So that's the same evolution as we can see in other fields as well. And if we look at very short about the theoretical part of the KCS, first we have something called the solve loop and then the evolve loop. So it's a double loop process with I would say the strength that it's very clear and very precise in its recommendations. So it's not a framework with a lot of playroom and also with that room for mistakes. It's very easy to follow the recommendations for working with knowledge-centered service. So the higher goal with knowledge-centered service or with the whole knowledge management initiative is really to ask us the question if we have the right conditions to build a knowledge base with our collective experience. That's what we want to achieve. And we also have to understand, as it says, that knowledge is not 100% accurate. It's not 100% complete. And it's something that evolves over time. So we need to understand and look at knowledge in that perspective. Some highlights from the methodology, I would say, is that we do this in the workflow and not on the side. Searching is central, both for finding knowledge and also understanding what language the user is speaking and what we have to add. What knowledge gaps do we see in the knowledge base and where do we have to improve? And of course, to relate product development and other things to these needs and these demands. Ethica came out with a new knowledge management study this year and found out that 91% of customers are frustrated if they don't find what they're looking for online quickly. "75% stated that agents didn't have access to the right or the sufficient information to solve their problems. And 70% felt that answer is inconsistent between different channels. And almost everyone said that high quality response makes them more loyal." Back to really have this great experience, or customer experience. And again, the reason for doing this is really to improve the service and enable new smart technologies, relying on this healthy knowledge base in the background. So remembering the Gartner prediction that we had in the beginning, with 85% of all our interactions would be without contacting a human in first place. So let's go and see where we are today. So this is a real case. So this is the headquarters of a large organization founded in 1878 in Stockholm. The organization has over 75,000 people. Imagine 75,000 people that needs to find knowledge and share knowledge for daily work to go on. So Comeraround started to work with Stockholm's University in 2014, and the goal was to present a working self-service portal as a door for other channels, and with a great knowledge base as the center of the solution. So we presented the KCS methodology, and even if I would say that Stockholm's University isn't 100% doing KCS, they have definitely adopted a lot of good stuff from KCS in their way of work with self-service and knowledge management in this huge organization. And if we look at the outcome today, we can see that Stockholm's University today, 2018, are at a percentage of 87% is fixing their questions or problems without interacting with a human, which is a number that still is climbing. Not as fast as it has done the last year, but it's still climbing a bit, so we'll see where we end. And they have really got to a place where they are contacted for more complex issues rather than the ones that fits very well for a self-healing organization or self-service support. And if we look at what did Stockholm's University and other organizations do that was successful, I would say that they had a very strong management buy-in and at the very top. They had a coaching organization, and they were coaching the whole organization so that everybody understand what they were doing and why they were doing it. And they also answered the question, what's in it for me, which is very important. So that not just your clients or customers or users understand why you are doing this. You have to adopt that to the whole organization. And they also worked on the attitude and the whole, not just adding a new tool. It was more understanding the new process and way of work. So much more attitude question and rather than technical or tool perspective. And I also think that they were very successful in aligning this effort into the demands that were already there. So they had wins in other areas also that benefited from this going forward. So we're jumping to number 3, and that's our experience on ditches, possible ditches and difficulties implementing knowledge management. And there are a few things that could be good to watch out for or be aware of. And we can see that, again, management is not taking ownership. It's really devastating for a knowledge initiative. It needs buy-in on the highest level. And also that it's so important that you really do the proper training and understanding, so you don't sort of expect everyone to understand what's going on and how it works. So take the proper training, make sure that you have the right person in the project driving it along, even when you jump into difficulties. And then we have measuring the right things and focus on goals and not activities. Really, why are you doing this? What is the outcome? So don't look too much into volume or just activity. And then the last point, to really see it as a journey and not the project and not the destination. So working with knowledge management and knowledge center service is really a journey that continues to evolve and needs to be updated. So jumping into the last point here. So what is the benefits? Why should we work with this, and why is it worth it? So there are a number of very important reasons or reasons for doing this, and operational efficiency is skyrocketing when doing this properly. And we can see that a support organization, for example, can double its effectiveness in a number of different ways, and also in the volume that they can handle, working properly with this knowledge base as the center of the service. We see that customer success numbers is going up with the self-service as the key driver in the service. We see also that, mentioned before, that it really helps to identify needs for improvements in product and processes that can really gives you benefit in other areas outside of the service and support field to really produce better products and services, which of course is leading your company or organization forward. And we also see that doing this is really building a long-term way of work for your whole organization, and it really gives you great possibility to access all these new smart technologies that we mentioned in the beginning with AI, machine learning, bots, and so on. So that's sort of something that you need to have in place to make those things work. Here's a bit complex illustration, but with a lot of details, but it's just to give you a view of what it could look like when you have a mature organization that is working with this knowledge base as the center. We have the assisted peers or models to the left. We have self-service. We can see that more and more organization is looking at the community and social media part of support and involving clients and partners, but always have the knowledge base as the center of doing this, and have the knowledge available for everyone to use and to learn from. So this is really way forward. So just to summarize what we have looked at, we have the latest trends and challenges that we spoke about. We talked a little bit about KCS, what it is and why we should care about it. We have looked at some of the ditches that you should be aware of and difficulties in implementing knowledge. And we have also looked at some of the benefits of implementing and harnessing knowledge in your organization. So with that said, thank you very much. And I don't know if we have a few minutes left. If we have any questions, Sebastian, maybe you can help me there. Or if you have any questions, you can use the chat to just fill it in. So
let's see. It looks like we have one question here, and I'll read it up for everybody. So it says, where do I begin when initially implementing sort of knowledge management KCS within an organization?
Yeah, that's a good question. It can, of course, depend, but I think that it's always a good place to start is to see where you are today, and doing a proper sort of assessment report. Are you talking about use the KCS language to really find out where you have the gaps or what is working and what is not? So doing an assessment report with a company like ComeAround or some other specialist that can really compare also and use information or knowledge from other organizations at an early stage. So I think that's a good place to start. Very good. So if there isn't any other questions, thank you so much for listening in to this webinar on how to capitalize on the knowledge revolution, and hopefully you get some new inspiration and some ideas that you can bring into your organizations or share with others. So thank you so much for listening in. Please connect on LinkedIn if you want to, or you find my email address. You can find more information like white papers and technical documentations, great blog articles on comearound.com also if you want to learn more in this field. So again, thank you so much, and have a great day.